This is the Montana Outdoor Podcast, brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer in Missoula, home of Boss Snowplows, CM Truck Beds, and Diamond Sea Trailers. Just go to rmtte.com for more information. And by Superior Hardwoods of Montana, home of the largest selection of in-stock high-end wood products and flooring in the western United States. Let them guide you through the woods at superior-hardwoods.com. Now, get ready for more fascinating topics and the most interesting people you will ever find in Montana's great outdoors. We offer new podcasts most every Saturday. You can get a link to these podcasts by going to our website, montanooutdoor.com, or by going to our Facebook page, or just send an email to Downrigger at montanooutdoor.com and say send a link to my email. It's that simple. Now let's head out with your host, Downrigger Dale, and see what's going on in Montana's great outdoors.
Thanks again, Manny. And yes, you are correct. This is Downrigger Dale here with another Montana Outdoor Podcast. And, we're always bringing you folks, all the goings on around the great state of Montana. And I'm real excited to talk about this one because this is an event that has been going on a long time, since 1942, 82nd annual Drummond Rodeo. In fact, I want to just take a second right now and thank our friends at CHS Mountain West Co-op for reminding me about this event that was coming up and recommending, basically they said, Downrigger, you ought to do a podcast about the Drummond Rodeo. The CHS Mountain West Co-op has been proud supporters of the Drummond PRCA Rodeo. This year's 82nd rodeo, they wanted me to make sure and remind you that it is presented by the Drummond Kiwanis Club and produced by Kessler Championship Rodeo. Make plans to attend. That's Sunday, July 9th at 2 p.m. at the American Legion Gold Star Post 125 Rodeo Grounds. And again, I want to thank CHS Mountain West Co-op for bringing this to my attention and reminding me about this great event, because it is just an amazing event. Longest running rodeo in the state of Montana. If you ever go to the Montana Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame, you'll see that this event was actually inducted into the Montana Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame, and it just got some great history behind it. But this rodeo is coming up very soon, so this is something you folks don't want to miss. It starts Saturday night at 6 o'clock. That's on, I'll introduce my guest here, Jeri Delys. Did I say that right, Jeri?
Yep.
Okay, and Jeri, what is your official title for the Drummond Rodeo? Chief cook and bottle washer?
I'd say that I'm the chaos control manager.
Chaos control manager. That sounds like a good one. I do not envy your job. That is a huge, huge job and a lot of moving parts that go on. But it's presented by the Kiwanis Club of Drummond, Montana. And maybe we start there, Jeri. Tell us a bit about the Kiwanis Club of Drummond.
So it's a fairly small group that does an extensive amount of community service in Hall and Drummond. The PRCA Rodeo is our biggest fundraiser. It does fund most of our programs, which include Imagination Library, scholarships. We just handed out 3 $1,000 scholarships to 3 seniors graduating this year from Drummond High School. We do a Memorial Day activity. We do Operation Santa. We do Thanksgiving boxes for folks that need a little bit of help. We are extremely proud of our 20-year effort of a new riverfront park in Drummond that's just turned out to be really an amazing asset to our community. The funds from the rodeo do really, really go a long way to help our efforts serve the community.
Well, I grew up in a small town in Montana. I grew up on a cattle ranch not far from Frenchtown, Montana, and so I have a very soft spot in my heart for small town Montana. In my opinion, I think it shows the way how America started, and in many cases, in my opinion, it shows a lot of maybe how America ought to try to be. And organizations like Kiwanis Club and that are kind of a lifeblood for a small town because much different than a lot of major cities, small town folks all get together and they take care of each other. And this is just one of the things. And of course, for most organizations like Kiwanis Club, they have a big event that is their major one. In this case, it's the Drummond Rodeo. But I mean, a pro rodeo of this size and reputation, that's a pretty major thing for a small town to do, isn't it, Jeri?
It really is. And I think that it really speaks to the support of the guys that have been doing this for years and years. Butch Freedy, Ron Wedge, Chuck Johnson, Cody Davis, John Hunter. These guys are the lifeblood, Todd Fickler, lifeblood of the organization. This rodeo is a tremendous amount of work. It's expensive. The support that we get, Kessler Championship Rodeo has been an amazing partner with us. They are just a fantastic company to work with. The support that we get from our advertisers and our sponsors really speaks volumes of Old Town, what America should be and what it used to be. And I think the fact that our rodeo program is 92 plus pages really speaks volumes. Yeah. I mean, and that's, people support this. They, a quarter page ad, a half page ad, a sponsor, an event, all of it. We find that our retention of advertisers and sponsors is incredibly impressive. People support this. Our crowd is a raucous crowd. We fill the stand. It's a fantastic rodeo. We are so proud of this event and what it means to the community. We get a draw from Deer Lodge, Helena, Butte, Missoula, Hamilton, Arlee. We just have such a diverse crowd. And I think, again, that really speaks to the energy and efforts that go into putting on this event and the community getting behind it and supporting it.
Well, when you think back here, back in 1942, it was a group of ranchers that decided to put this rodeo on, and they did it with as well as horse races. And I was looking into some of the history. The rodeo first producer was Roy King, and they located the rodeo on Main Street, and
right.
the horse races took place down the middle of town on Front Street. So, I mean, this was a true, grassroots community program. And I don't know if the folks back in 1942 ever would have thought how far this has gone now, but it really has become a legendary event and something that I would imagine it's not just Montanans that show up, but you probably see people from all around the country that show up, don't you?
We really do. We're close in proximity to the ranch at Rock Creek, Boulder Creek Lodge. Those folks get a tremendous draw from all over, and we find them at our rodeo. Again, those are some of our partners, and those are the partnerships that we're pretty proud of, and that they really have evolved. We do find that people come back to our rodeo year after year after year. It's one that they tell us they just won't miss. We won't miss that rodeo. And it's been kind of a rain or shine event. Last year, we had a downpour Saturday night, absolute downpour. The arena was soup, but the show went on. And that's what we do. We just, it goes on, and, perseverance, dogged determination to make the event something that we're all very proud of is it's just what we do Saturday night. And so they're able to route us into their travels. And so we get guys from Canada, we get guys from Texas, it's an impressive lineup that we get. Of course, they're all trying to get to the NFR.
Sure.
And because it is a PRCA rodeo, the points count. It's not an easy rodeo. The talent that shows up is pretty impressive. Last year, we had no 8-second rides in bull riding. That gives you an idea of what the stock is like. This is an impressive rodeo, both in contestants, in stock, in spectators, just the whole thing. And again, we're very, very proud of that.
Yeah. About how many fans show up for this on an average year, Jeri?
I'd say we're about 2,700.
Wow. Okay. And all the main normal types of rodeo events that we would expect at a PRCA rodeo, bull riding, bronc roping, all the same stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. The only thing we don't have, and it's not real common to have it anymore, is we don't have breakaway.
Oh, okay.
But and all the other great events that we love about rodeo.
To me, it's a fun family time because with a rodeo, what I've always loved about it when I became a dad, and that you get kids that, their attention span may not be the greatest. Well, they get to run around and do things with their friends, and adults get to stand around and do some fun things and that. So it really is something that the whole family can come to do. And so for those of you that listen to this podcast right now, bring the whole family along. Kids and all. It's a lot of fun. Hey, I'm going to take a quick break, Jeri, and then we'll get back to you and talk some more about the Drummond Rodeo and what this historic event has in store for everybody coming up this year, very soon in July. So, but before we get back to that, let's talk a bit about Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. I just want to remind you folks, they just do a fabulous job. We get so many compliments from people that say, gee, I'm so glad you sent me there because, boy, they really helped me find the right horse trailer. Or, man, I needed to get a new truck bed for my work truck, and they were incredible. The list goes on and on of people that have just had great experiences. I've used them. The captain of the Montana Outdoor Radio Show, he just used them, got a new gooseneck trailer hitch put on, and is incredibly happy with that. You really should spend some time after this podcast, especially if you're in the market for trying to find a new trailer or truck bed, or even a snow plow for next winter. And just go to their website. It's rmtte.com. That's rmtte.com. That's Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. Take a look at their inventory. They got a great inventory of, as I was saying, the CM truck beds, fantastic. Diamond C trailers. I think those are probably some of the most top-of-the-line trailers you're going to find out there. They have a huge selection of cargo trailers, if that's something you need. A lot of us need those for work and that. Great selection there. They will help you. What I love about them is the folks that are going to help you, choose the right product for you, they use that equipment. So you're really going to get some firsthand knowledge of the different features, how it works, what's going to work best for you for the application you're looking for, whether it's a truck bed or a trailer or, any of the other great products that they have there. On top of that, they can help you get financing for it. Then after the sale, you have any problems or any of that, they have a full service and parts department there with people that are highly trained to make sure all this works right for you and keeps working right for you, which is very, very important. Now, you can find them in Missoula. They're at 56080 Expressway in Missoula, Montana. If you want to give them a call, you can just call 406-549-5600. 4243. That's 406 549 4243. Give them a call or head to the website rmtte.com. Take a look at their inventory, get your questions ready, give them a call, or stop by at 5680 Expressway in Missoula, Montana, and they will help you. I can't stress enough, before you buy a trailer, truck bed, any of that kind of stuff, which most of us Montanans need all the time, go see Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. You're going to be very, very happy you did. Again, that phone number for Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer, 406-549-4243. Or you can see them in Missoula, Montana. That's always a nice place to go to, too. And they are located right there at 5680 Expressway in Missoula. Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. Can't thank them enough for being such a great sponsor of this program. Another one that I want to talk about is our friends at Superior Hardwoods of Montana. Now, they've been around for 41 years helping people find the right wood for their home, whether you're remodeling or you're going to build a new home. They are the experts. In my opinion, they are the experts, hands down, anywhere on this planet Earth. These guys really know their stuff. And what's great about it is their selection is huge. They have over 100,000 square feet of flooring at Superior Hardwoods of Montana. There's their workshop alone, just their mill shop where they custom mill things, and that's 4,000 square feet. They do incredible things. These are experts that have been doing this for a very long time. And I love their slogan. They say, let us guide you through the woods. And that's really what they do, because they have so many different types of woods to choose from, whether you're doing paneling or flooring or siding. They're going to make your home, whether it's your remodel project or your construction project, they're going to make that one of a kind. You're going to love chatting with these folks. Now, you can go in Missoula to Superior Hardwoods of Montana. If you're taking 93 through Missoula, like you're going south towards Lolo, Montana, you'll see them on the left if you're heading south out of Missoula. On the right-hand side, you're going to see this great big round kind of space-age looking building. That's the Peak Athletic Club. Then across the highway from that is Superior Hardwoods of Montana. And you plan on spending some time there because, I mean, let's face it, you build a home, you're going to live with this for a long time. It's not like we just go changing our siding or our paneling or flooring all the time. So you really want to make sure it's right. The other great thing is they do these reclaimed woods. Now, maybe it was from an old building in Montana or an old granary or whatever. They reclaim it and do unbelievable things with that. You're literally putting a piece of history into your home. And they have suppliers from not just in Montana, but all over. They're going to find you something that's going to be perfect for your home. Superior Hardwoods of Montana. Let them guide you through the woods. You're going to love that you did. Just go to superior-hardwoods.com. Superior-hardwoods.com. They're located at 5120 Highway 93 South in Missoula. You can also call them if you want to chat with them, 406-204-2455. And as I said, let them guide you through the woods. You're going to be really glad you went and talked to these guys before you remodel or build. Superior Hardwoods of Montana. All right, let's get back to you, Jeri. And festivities kind of kick off that Saturday night. Take us through that. What are some of the things that are going to kick off on Saturday night?
So it's a really the whole town gets involved. It's a street dance, Swedes and Canyon, they all shields. They just line the street. The Thirsty Buzzards kick us off.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
JD and Western Front will play. They're a fantastic country western band, and the streets are lined. People are dancing. It's a really very well attended, fun event. The next morning, Slack starts at 9:00 in the morning. There's a parade that happens down Main Street, USA, Drummond. It's a really fun parade. Gates open at noon for the rodeo, and then our rodeo starts at 2:00.
Okay. And so what other kind of things can people expect to do throughout the day then? I assume you've got vendors and things like that, so people want to eat and that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have Friday night pizza. We have the Patty Wagon. We have Lone Pine Perks. We have our own Kiwanis concession that is going to serve up pulled pork and cold slaw. And we'll also, that morning, we'll have from our concession stand breakfast burritos. So we've got a nice selection of food. Of course, we've got adult beverages and not adult beverages as well.
Yeah.
And it's a real pretty rodeo ground. There's lots of room for kids to play on the grass. There's a park adjacent to the rodeo grounds. It's just a safe place for families. It's it's such a well-attended event, I think, because of the offerings that we have as far as the grounds go and as far as what we have for vendors and concessions. And it's a time for community gathering. It's a time where people who might not see each other often, but they do see each other once a year at the rodeo, and that's always fun.
So if people want to come early, so they can enjoy the stuff, that's Saturday, July 8th. Mm-hmm. So if they wanted to, say, stay overnight or whatever, what are some of the options there of accommodations for people?
There's lots of accommodations. There's VRBOs, there's the Drummond Motel, there's B&Bs all over the place. We're so close to Ovando. We're really close to Bonner, Clinton, Rock Creek. We're just really accessible. Folks can stay about anywhere. There is camping very close by.
I was going to ask that. A lot of folks that listen to this podcast are campers. They love to, they're out in the outdoors and spending time. So there's some pretty close campgrounds around there too then?
Adjacent to the rodeo grounds, there is a campground. It's the Drummond City Park, and it's got lots of camping available. And again, it's one of those things that those folks are the ones that come back year after year. That's their event. They make sure that they're going to be in Drummond for that rodeo on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Now, do they take reservations at that campground? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right. That'd be something for you folks that are listening. Check into, because I imagine things are going to fill up here as it goes along. For folks that just want to drive for the day and that, what's the parking situation like? I know in a small town that has a big event like this, that can be a challenge at times. What do you recommend there?
So we have a nice parking area, and we don't sell advance tickets. We sell them what we call the gate. And so when a car drives in, they get their tickets, they park, they walk to the rodeo ground, and they walk to the entrance gate. We do have pretty ample parking, but if you want, we do have a handicap section for folks that might need a little bit. You can park, walk, you can, leave your camper and walk over. It's really an easily accessible rodeo ground.
And for you outdoor lovers that listen, and I know there's a ton of you that do, you're also right near one of the most famous blue ribbon trout streams in the whole world, and that's Rock Creek. So bring your fly rod. And then there's, so many other things to see. Not far is the legendary little town of Phillipsburg too, right?
Right. And, we get we have some great sponsors in Phillipsburg. We've got fabulous sponsors, advertisers in Deer Lodge, Butte. I mean, I just recommend people really thanking them by frequenting their business and making a day of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So much to see when you're there. So as far as, you're using the admission charge, and that is, I suppose, the main fundraiser. Are there other ways that people could help the Kiwanis Club of Drummond with donations and that, to help all the things that you do?
Yeah, I mean, we have P.O. Box 9, Hall, Montana, 59047. We are always looking for donations to complete our riverfront park. We are in the process of trying to get some benches. We've got a couple of picnic tables that are concrete that we always need help funding. Again, this rodeo is an expensive rodeo to put on. As you know, Dale, costs on everything have gone sky high. And we haven't raised our ticket prices for about 3 years.
Wow, good for you. Yeah.
We've kept our advertising so that anybody can be involved with sponsoring and being an advertiser, from a quarter page ad to a full page ad to a platinum sponsor. We levels that people can get behind this rodeo, and they do. And I think that's, again, a testament to just really the support that we get and how many people just really appreciate this event.
Yeah. And, for many of us that travel around Montana and want to get to Georgetown Lake, or, like I say, Rock Creek, or, wherever you're traveling through, so often we stop in Drummond, to fill up with fuel or whatever. And, we use some of those services. So this is a really good time to give back to this town that kind of supports your travel efforts and stuff like that. So help them put a bench in, help them do some of these things, because this town is an important stop for commerce and that. Give us a little history on Drummond. I mean, that's a legendary town in itself. What's they're saying? The world famous bull shippers, I think, is what you see on the side of the highway.
Yeah, I mean, that was a claim to fame. The bulls were shipped right there. That yard still exists today. I can't tell you how many people take their picture in front of that because of being bull shipper. And it's kind of a tough one to say on air and in ad copy, so we stay a little bit away from it.
Yeah. I think whoever came up with that many, many years ago is probably still laughing today. But it's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great moniker that everybody is seeing in that. But it's for sure something that I think is important. Now, what's the ticket price? Forgive me if you said it, but what's the ticket price to get in?
So it's a very family-friendly, reasonable ticket pricing. Adults are $12 each. Kids 6 to 12 are $6, and 5 and under are free.
Oh, well, geez, that's extremely reasonable for a major event like that.
Yeah, we don't charge for parking. We don't. The other thing that's real unique to our rodeo, we do not charge for the program.
Oh, really?
That's a free program. And we find that because there's so many advertisers in there and great deals, we do find that folks hang on to that rodeo program. And that's a unique offering for our advertisers and our sponsors.
So for the cowboys and cowgirls that come to this, I imagine you've had some chances to talk with them. What are some of the comments you get from them? Now, these are folks, of course, that are traveling all around the country. It's their livelihood of pro rodeo. And so they see things from, rodeos in major cities and all that. What are some of the comments that you hear from them about the Drummond Rodeo?
Well, the stock is first rate because it's produced by Kessler Championship Rodeo. The Kessler family has been around for many, many, many years. They bring in quality stock that's really comparable to what a guy would see at a Calgary Stampede or a bigger rodeo. They comment about that. They comment about the small town feel. They comment, we don't give buckles out. We give beautiful knives that Montana Smith makes for us. The guys love that. They love the fact that they can get in and get out of the rodeo grounds easily. They can camp there. They do camp there. The slack option, they really, really appreciate and love. They love the fact that it's a one-day rodeo. They can get their points, they can get their check, and they can get on the road. And they really, really appreciate that.
Well, and I think, you look at a lot of cowboys and cowgirls from around the country. Most of them have those small town roots, but yet they end up as a professional spending a lot of time in bigger cities too. So I imagine they appreciate getting back to the small town and the great people that live around there. Speaking of which, what does the Drummond community think of this event? Obviously, it's gone on for a long time, and sometimes that can wear on a few people in the community. Go, oh boy, here we go again. But what are some of the thoughts you get from the longtime residents in Drummond?
They look forward to it. They support it. They love having people come and see the town and the park and all the things that we're very proud of that the Kiwanis Club supports in both Hall and Drummond. And of course, the advertisers and the sponsors that get behind this really appreciate the increased traffic.
And for small town Montana, like many other states with lots of small towns, times have been tough economically. Things change and the way we do business changes and that. What have you seen as far as changes in Drummond? For a while, I know Drummond struggled like a lot of other places. I think COVID all of a sudden put a spotlight on Montana where people from around the country said, that looks like a lot better place to live. Tell us about some of the changes you've seen Drummond go through here recently.
It's a resilient community. It's predominantly ag. Mm-hmm. And a rancher's job is never done. It's a 365, 24/7 job. And we did see some fatalities with COVID. Obviously, people couldn't travel. People couldn't stop at a restaurant. So that really did hurt. But I think the community really rallied and did the very, very best that they could to support each other and support the businesses that choose to be available to the community.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that I've always felt is probably our greatest asset, especially in Montana, is the people. And, no offense to people that grow up in larger cities, but I truly feel that, some of the finest people and legendary Montanans come from these small towns. A lot of it, I think, is just, the fortunate ability to grow up in a place where you get a lot of great community support and just good old American values, I think, that are so important. But these small towns produce fabulous people, and they also produce the beef that you get, the great steaks and everything else you get. So again, I think this is a chance for all of us in Montana or those that love to visit Montana to give back and support this community. But the entertainment you get is, it's a pro rodeo. You are going to a major pro rodeo event, wouldn't you say?
It is. It's the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. It's the Women's Pro Rodeo Association. We are just like any other rodeo. We have to pay the same fees. We have the same expectations. We have the same 8-page application. We don't get to cut corners just because it's our 82nd year. Our
Right.
expectations are to be professional. This rodeo is put on by all volunteers. And
Wow.
again, I mean, we start meeting the week after Labor Day, and we meet every Monday at 6:30 at the senior center. There's usually about 5 to 8 members, and that's who puts this thing on. And that's the way it's been done for years and years and years. And, when I say that I am I'm the chaos control manager, I'm not kidding.
Right.
A lot of these guys, they're ranchers that belong to the club. They're businessmen. They're very, very busy. They get tired of me hounding them. I need that ad.
Yeah.
Your effort. And I think the reason it is so well supported is the connections that the members have with the community. They've been in the community for years and years and years. A lot of them are hometown guys, and they're well loved, well respected, well known. And when they come knocking on the door to ask for support, it's a hearty yes.
Mm-hmm. Economically, what kind of an impact do you think it has in the greater Drummond area for this event, for the Drummond Rodeo?
I don't have a number, but I will tell you that because people come from all over and it's an annual event for them, I know that it is very, very healthy for our community. I know that we are able to support our community at the level that we do with the programs that we do because of the revenue from this event. And we work really hard to fill it up. We work really hard to make sure that it's a quality event and people really appreciate and come back for it.
So what is the population of Drummond? I should have looked that up before we started the podcast. Do you know what the population is?
And it's you've got Drummond, and then Hall is 12 plus miles away. And so it's kind of I would put the two together, but I'd probably get scolded for that.
Yeah, I was just going to take a quick look here and just, do the old search and just see if I can find it here. But what amazes me about this is I'm going to assume this event probably takes the population of Drummond and at least 10 times it, I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so that in itself, anytime you look at a community that all of a sudden goes 10 times its normal population, how do you coordinate that? I mean, just from bathrooms and that, I mean, how do you guys put all that together?
We do it. I will tell you kind of a funny story about the traffic impact. The Bitterroot Mountettes are a wonderful, wonderful partner of ours. They come to the parade and then they perform before the rodeo. They carry our grand entry flags. They carry our sponsor flags, which is a really wonderful addition to our event. And last year after the parade, Robin, who heads up Bitterroot Mountettes, called me and said, "We are stuck in traffic. We've got a truck and trailer, their horses, we're ready to rumble with grand entry. And our pets are stuck in traffic."
Oh no.
And to stuck in traffic and correlate that to Drummond, Montana, it's really kind of a what?
Yeah, you don't hear that phrase very often in Drummond, Montana. It's one street, or pretty much. That's funny.
This year they're going to ride their horses to the parade and then ride their horses back to avoid the traffic jam.
There you go. Yeah, I just looked it up. The census says in 2021 the population of Drummond was 280 people. Yeah. So yeah, it's about 10 times your population.
Pretty much.
When that comes in. Yeah. And so that's got to tax, your infrastructure of Drummond, but you guys pull it all off. Is there any best directions as far as how to get to the rodeo grounds and all that? I mean, is it just pretty a simple pull right in, or?
It's pretty simple. You just, you're on Front Street and you just follow the signs that say camping. You can't miss it. American Legion, Gold Star Post, 125 Rodeo grounds. you can't miss it. You just follow the traffic.
Yeah. That's the only day you're gonna, like we just said, you're gonna see a little traffic in Drummond, Montana on a consistent basis. But all right. Anything else you'd like to share with us about this event before we close it out here, Jeri?
I don't think thank you goes enough for all the volunteers, for the contestants, for the advertisers, for the sponsors, to the kids that are selling 50-50 tickets, to the vendors, to the, everybody that has a hand in putting this on. It just is such a gift to our community. And to say that we've been around for 82 years is really a testament to all of those things that make this event as special as it is. And it never feels like enough to say thank you, but it's a big thank you.
Yeah. And, of course, we want to for sure thank the sponsors of this program that brought this to everyone, which is CHS Mountain West Co-op. Of course, in Drummond. You also see them in Missoula, Ronan, and Stevensville. The CHS Mountain Co-op has proudly supported the annual PRCA Rodeo in Drummond. For the 82nd year, they've presented the rodeo and helped be a very important sponsor to them. And I know you want to thank them as well, because they're the ones that said, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and came to us and said, "Let's help these folks out." So
they're a wonderful, wonderful partner. They are traditionally probably one of the first sponsors to say we're in. They come back year after year after year. They're always asking, how can we help? What do you need? They're a terrific partner, and we just appreciate their support so very much, including this podcast. This was something that Dusty really wanted to do, and we're very, very grateful for the support. And again, that's how we get this done.
Yeah. It's organizations like the Mountain West Co-op that really, and they always seem to be there, don't they? For these really super important events for small town Montana, you consistently see their name. CHS Mountain West Co-op presents, or sponsored by, or something like that, which I think says a lot about that company. They really, really want to make sure that the towns they serve, they truly serve, not just to have fuel and, supplies and that, but they really want to do the right thing.
They do. And they've never forgotten us.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there to help support.
Well, we can't thank them enough for inviting us to be part of this, because this is something that I just love to see traditions like this go. And it really is the way that we love to enjoy the great outdoors in Montana. I mean, this is an outdoor event like no other outdoor event, where you can sit with your family. You can see a age-old event come alive before your eyes, and see some of the best cowboys and cowgirls across the United States compete in an exciting event. That was the other question I was going to ask you. Is there one event that you find that the crowd kind of gravitates to? I know for a long time it was the bull riding, because that's such a wild thing. But what do you see for the Drummond Rodeo?
Bull riding.
Yeah, it really is. Of course, all the events are a blast. I tried that when I was way younger. And I think it was actually Reg Kessler that said, "Son, I think you ought to try something else." I think was his. I was not very good at it.
Well, I really appreciate and love barrel racing. My daughter rodeoed for UM for 4 years and has still very involved in the horse world. And so I'm pretty partial to barrel racing and love to watch that. I actually really like bareback and saddle bronc as well, just because I'm sort of a horse addict. So, but
yeah,
the bull riding is the event that people just hoop and holler, and it seems to be the one that has kind of held people's interest for all these years.
Right. Yeah. Well, and as a father of 8 daughters, that's kind of been our event because, well, I haven't had a choice, and it's also just dang exciting.
It
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at. I would love to see what the speeds are, and times are for barrel racing, and how that's changed over the years. Because now it's just blistering. It just
is.
boggles my mind.
Yeah, and the caliber of athleticism that we're seeing in these barrel horses is just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and that, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that I think we forget is, the cowboys and the cowgirls that are doing this, they're athletes, no doubt. They are athletes, but their animals are true athletes as well. And the training and that goes into it. And really now, even the investment they make, I mean, some of these animals are very, very expensive.
They are. And, I mean, it's not unfathomable to think that, you're going to spend a pretty penny on the horse, but it's not so much the expense of the horse. It's keeping that horse, that athlete in tip-top condition. It's, your rig that you're trailering in, all of it. It's a sport. And anybody who doesn't think it is, go for a weekend with a rodeoer and
right.
find the work. It's not, it's a tough job. It's very competitive, and it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Well, another of our sponsors, Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer, they just, boy, if you want a top-notch horse trailer, holy smokes, they've got them there. So that's another one that I know a lot of their clients will probably be showing up there as well. But
yeah,
I just think, when you pull all this together, and I will say one thing, if there is, which I doubt as far as the people that listen to this podcast, because they know, but, there are some people that maybe haven't been exposed to rodeo much and they say, oh, that's a cruel sport.
Yeah.
No, not my horse, good old T-Bar, when I was growing up on the ranch, that horse could not wait to go to work. I mean, and when I ended up, I guess maybe taking Mr. Kessler's and other people's advice of getting into something else, and I got into radio, and at a young age, and so my horse and my dog kind of had to hang out back at the ranch, and they would, without me even being there, they would team up and chase the cows around the field, because that's what they were used to doing. So they were bored. So they would spend their day, and I finally had to not, pasture them with the cows, because old T-Bar, he just figured, well, I'm bored. Let's move them all to that end of the pasture. And, well, we've been here a while. I'm going to move them over there. And it was so moving to sit on the fence and watch my dog and my horse still doing what they do, So it really shows you that man and animal really are an incredible team. And if you want to see them in a professional environment, go to the Drummond Rodeo, because you're going to see some stuff that will blow your mind as far as how a men and women can work with a horse and do the things they do. Do you find that most people in the community kind of feel that way? I know I've been through Drummond many a time, seeing horses tied up right there next to businesses. I mean, it still is kind of that way, isn't it?
It really is. And I, for me, it's what it just grounds me. I mean,
Yeah.
it is authentic. It's genuine. It is, not much has changed there. And I find that incredibly refreshing. People really do respect the cowboys and the cowgirls that come and compete in this sport. And I think that the appreciation for what they see at this event is very, very, very high.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, and for the youngsters that they get into it, I always love to watch at rodeos how they will want to go get autographs and talk to some of these famous cowboys and cowgirls. And I think that's neat to see. And I imagine you see that at the Drummond Rodeo a lot, where these kids get a chance to meet some of their heroes.
They really do. And it's nice because of how accessible the grounds are. We need to be careful. A lot of these kids haven't been around stock, and so we take a lot of care into just making sure everybody's safe. If they want to go meet a cowboy or get an autograph from a cowgirl, we make sure that they do it safely, and it's just well done. And there's always somebody available to help, and always available to accommodate a kid's wish, and to again, that really speaks to the family-friendly hometown rodeo feel. Right,
exactly. That really shows that Drummond opens up his arms and says, "Hey, everybody, come on in and let's have a good time." As far as lastly here, Jeri, are there any kind of supplies or things you recommend people bring that maybe have never come to this event, or don't bring to the event? As far as like water or any of that kind of stuff, or is it pretty?
We sell water. We sell all of that. Bug spray isn't a bad idea. The bleachers are wooden. Sometimes that you get a little bleacher bottom, but the stands are covered, and so
that's right.
Yeah, if they're going to be out and about, walking about, I always think sunscreen's a great idea. But it's a one-day event. Starts at 2:00. We're usually out of there by 6:00.
No, okay. So and that's just something to think about. Most of our folks are pretty prepared, but yeah, wouldn't hurt to throw a little rain gear in just in case, especially if you're going to be doing the street dance Saturday night. And
it's not going to rain this year.
No, it will not do that, right?
No,
that's July 8th. We're going to get underway that evening. That gets underway at 6:00, right, Jeri?
Yeah, about that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then again, Sunday, the 9th, the rodeo starts. That is, when do the gates open? What did you say again? Noon?
Gates open at noon.
Okay. So gates are open at noon. Plan on, getting there early, getting ready to go, folks. And then make a day of it. See all the events and that, and you'll probably be out of there at 6:00. Of course, if you do partake, make sure you've got plans for your designated driver, or you're going to stay or something like that. Just sometimes we get a little hot and we have a few too many beers, but not that I've ever done that.
No, hasn't happened.
No. All right, Jeri. Well, thank you so much for all your time. Again, we want to thank the folks at CHS Mountain West Co-op in Drummond, Missoula, Ronan, and Stevensville for all they've done, especially for sponsoring this podcast and making it happen, and for what they do all across Montana. Jeri, thank you for all your time and what you do for that great community and for this event. And we look forward to getting out there on the 8th and 9th of July and having a ball with you.
You bet. Let's rodeo.
All right. Take care. That's Jeri Delys from the Kiwanis Club of Drummond, and she has been organizing the chaos quite well over there, getting ready for all this. Folks, thanks so much for listening to our podcast. You can always check the information below in the podcast description. You're going to see I'm going to put a link in there so you can get to the Facebook page of Kiwanis of Drummond, so you'll have that. I'll get you links to as much stuff as I possibly can there. And of course, I'll put a link to CHS Mountain West Co-op there for all of you too. So that way, if you have questions or anything like that, I can get them passed on to Jeri.
Great.
So thanks again, folks, and thanks for listening. And we'll see you again in Montana's great outdoors right here on the Montana Outdoor Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Montana Outdoor Podcast. It has been brought to you in part by Superior Hardwoods of Montana, home of the largest selection of in-stock, high-end wood products and flooring in the western United States. Let them guide you through the woods at superior-hardwoods.com. And by Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer in Missoula, home of Boss Snowplows, CM Truck Beds, and Diamond Sea Trailers. Just go to rmtte.com for more information. So what did you think of today's podcast? Send your questions and comments to Downrigger at montanooutdoor.com. We should be dropping a new podcast this next Saturday. Until then, we will see you soon out in Montana's great outdoors.